If I were an all-powerful supreme deity and wanted to communicate with every human on earth in a way they can all understand, a secret message would be the least desirable format.
I'm RN Raw, and you're watching Atheist Edge.
Hi, welcome to Atheist Edge. I'm Courtney here with Jim, and we are doing mailbag number 4, which, for those who don't know, and I just found out, is just random comments. They could be good, or they could be like really bad hate mail. It could be about really insulting about our images, or about what is said.
Some is positive.
Or it could be, you know, hey, those people are awesome. So, do you want to start us off?
TJ wants it to be called crank mail. I don't know. Whatever's in the title, that's what it's going to be. Okay.
That would not be clear enough.
Here's the first one, Courtney. From Athen Ran.
Do you want to read this one?
I think abortion should be illegal until they make it legal for a man to refuse to provide child support. Let's just leave it right there. We'll read some more later, but just right there. You got anything? No?
That doesn't make any sense.
If a woman can choose not to have a child for any reason, then the man should have an equal opportunity and right to not bother the child, I'm assuming, or give support for that child in any capacity for any reason. This is a response to when we had RN Raw in the studio, and we were talking about some pretty hot button topics that day.
This is TJ. I agree with that. If a woman should have a choice, a man should have a choice too.
Oh my God.
And that's why all 4 of us are, we vary wildly socio-politically.
Choice after that?
Okay. I mean, this is really insane. So the idea is that abortion should be illegal.
No, I don't agree with that.
Till they make it legal for a man to refuse to provide child support. So, okay. What's not great about that is the idea that it should be illegal in the first place. So it's
That's not what they're saying, Courtney.
No. They're saying that because the whole child support is thing is a legal issue, that abortion should be illegal.
And that's the wrong tack.
Which doesn't make any sense to me, because what they're saying is we want to have more unwanted children and deaths of women who are trying to seek abortions that they do need. In replacement of there being a requirement by law for both parents who are involved in childbearing to contribute to that childbearing. I don't understand how those things are together. Because there's this concept of, hey, I do think that abortion should be the choice of both people involved, for sure, but he's assuming that women don't take men's opinions into that account, and maybe in his experience they haven't, but I think if you are a respectable human being, that's not only women's choice. However, the concept that women should have more of a voice in that decision than men, there is something to that, only because there is a systemic historical tradition of women not having their own voice in this kind of decision. And there's this concept that, like, okay, well, right now women can vote, women are equal in all of these different ways, and, you know, it should be an equal choice between men and women. Well, that ignores this history of women not having a choice for so long, and so you need to take these concepts into account when you are making that kind of decision.
Yeah, you're right, because there are, historically women haven't had control of their own reproductive cycles, for sure.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you can hear what TJ said. What TJ was saying was that you don't want the pendulum to swing all the other way, where it's only women's choices and men don't have a say in it.
Right.
I agree with that. That if you have something happen where one person really wants that child and the other person doesn't, it is not fair. But on the other hand,
now you got the point of this this comment.
No,
okay.
it's not that I didn't get it, Tim.
You were on some abortion issue and women's autonomy.
What he said was abortion should be illegal until they make it legal for. Okay.
This person is not for.
We don't roll back.
Please, can I? I've been really patient.
Go ahead.
All right. This person is not necessarily for or against abortion. He or she is putting it, taking it hostage until you give men the right to decide if they pay child support or not.
Well,
This is not an abortion issue. This is
progressions until you get the more progressions that you're trying to get.
Think of it this way:
if it's a test tube baby, then there would be naturally equal say, because they both have equal stakes in the matter.
That's a good point.
As it is right now, women has more stake in the childbearing process.
Yes, they have more to lose.
That part can't be equal. It's never going to be equal.
Right, it's not going to be equal because women have less of an ability to walk away from that situation in the way that men do. And historically, there is this issue of men completely walking away from that kind of responsibility when women do not have the same choice.
I would argue that that's not the case.
They can't walk away
in modern times.
They legally have to pay child support.
That's not, I would argue that that's not the case.
What he's arguing is that what he's arguing is that we shouldn't have that requirement, and I'm saying that requirement is there for a reason. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Should a man, let's say it's an unplanned pregnancy, we screwed up.
Right.
She wants to keep it. He doesn't.
Right.
Should there be something legal in place where that guy can go, I absolve responsibility?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that.
Chris, flip
if the woman can choose to have the abortion or not.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Valid point.
Exactly.
Valid point. Chris, flip it for me.
Yeah. So why are we just talking about the men, whether the man wants to pay child support or not? What if the woman doesn't want to raise a child? Can she foist it on the man?
No.
Can both of them decide they want to support the child?
Right. So the issue is that if the female does not want the child and the male does, the female still has all the consequences of having that child, the effect on her body, the effect on her life, and the stigma of women walking away from their children versus men walking away from their children is very, very different.
I get you there.
And so it's not an equal comparison of let's make abortion illegal because men don't die from abortion. You know who dies from abortion? Women who can't have legal abortions. And this is not an issue. This is not a debate about women and men having an equal opportunity from the consequences of childbearing. It is not equal.
Nobody's saying that you're gonna have exactly equal consequences. No, that's not what's.
Okay, so what I do understand is that this is a criticism of the system that we have now of any child that comes about, we should bear that child, and your consequence is that you had sex, and that's your consequence. And I don't agree with that. I think that having children should be a choice. And so, what we're talking about is the ability for choice. And so I think what he should have said is abortion should be legal until men don't have to bear that responsibility as well, because what he's saying is
a different way to word it, right?
Yes, and that's what he means is that women should be given the choice to have or not have children,
and also men
and so should men. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of agree with that, but there is But when parents have children and then one of them decides that they don't want to be part of that anymore, the female side of that has more consequences than the male side of that. Mm-hmm. And the reason that there's this legal issue of, hey, you need to support the children that you bear, do you want that to all be on women? Like, I don't understand the argument. Go ahead.
Children.
Back to the question about woman wants to keep the child, the man doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Look up co-parenting. It is a thing already.
Co-parenting.
Co-parenting.
What is it?
That is where a woman seeks a man for the donation of the sperm.
Oh, surrogate.
He writes off all parental.
That's surrogate. And that's before you get pregnant.
That's not surrogate.
No, it's not surrogacy.
Oh.
She's talking about
something else.
Okay,
and that's true.
But that's decided before the pregnancy even happens.
And that's a privileged position.
That's different. All right.
And that's a privileged position for the female to be able to financially support that child by themselves.
And also, I say always be
there's that.
Moving on.
So, okay, one more thing.
Okay.
So if abortion is illegal, women are forced to have that child, and he's saying that men shouldn't have to support that child, even though women do not have the choice to have or to not have that child. And that is the issue, is that the onus is on women, and he's saying men should be able to walk away, and that's just completely backwards. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I agree with you on that.
Thank you.
Because if one fucking subset has the fucking control, the other subset should have just as much power of control over the fucking situation.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
Please, let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on.
I think our viewers understand. Okay. From Cynthia Vicious. I suspect there may be one or more secret messages in the Bible. This is from our #1 most viewed video with Aaron Ra. Possibly numerology, astrology, metaphysics, these types of things. I'm positive that the worst way you could read the Bible is literally. I've heard it suggested it is the only wrong way to read it. I disagree because I don't think you can read it morally either, and metaphorically, it definitely leaves something to be desired, in my not so humble opinion.
Okay.
Now, the only reason I brought this one up is because here's my response. Yeah, if I were an all-powerful supreme deity and wanted to communicate with every human on earth in a way they can all understand, a secret message would be the least desirable format. Now, is there a way I could have said that differently?
I'll give them a book, but they can't read it like a book. They have to take the book and chop it up into little pieces and put it in a blender, and only then will they get the message.
You see what it's saying?
But I won't tell them to do that either.
Skeptic Magazine had some articles on this, secret messages found in documents, and they found that if you've already decided what the secret message is, you could devise a code or way of going through the pages and have a secret word in everything. And they did it with just almost any book you could give them, because they already knew what the secret word they were looking for, you know. And you take every third letter out of the fourth line, and because they'd already circled the words and put them together. So it's been shown that using these techniques, you can find secret messages in the phone book, in your dictionary.
They did it with Moby Dick and found 9/11, and they predicted all kinds of predictions in Moby Dick.
It's a technique. So people take the Bible and they start finding the secret messages that they want to find, and you think, well, who told you how to set up? You know, why is it every third letter and every fourth line of every second word? Well, because that's what works out to get the secret message.
There's a lot of things going on there. There's confirmation bias. There's pattern-seeking psychology of you take any ambiguous text and you can derive whatever meaning you want to. If you're looking for that meaning, that's what you will find. And so, yeah, what Jim was saying is absolutely correct, that there's this bias. If you have this bias that this person is a benevolent, wonderful thing that's trying to give you wisdom, then that's what you're going to see from it. If you take it at face value, it falls short of that mark.
You want to read this one?
Okay. From
Dinesh Daharme.
Okay. If God doesn't want to reveal himself, why are we so keen to have relationship with him?
And then I replied, who is we? And I should have put, who's we? Do you have a mouse in your pocket? Because I'm not... I'm going to go ahead and speak for the entire atheist community. I do not seek to have a relationship with them. Oh, and...
If Zeus didn't exist 2,000 years ago, why did so many Greeks spend so much time and energy trying to have a relationship with him?
Right.
Yeah, that's good too.
Well, and that's the. I mean, I think this person's just making a point that, like, why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to reveal himself to you? So, yeah, I mean, I think he's right that.
But he's speaking for the entire population of the earth.
He's not. Well, he's just giving a hypothetical, like that if this person isn't willing to come out and actually have a real relationship with you and give you something of substance, then why should you spend your time wanting to have a relationship with them?
Well,
and so I agree with that.
Okay.
In the Bible, it says God wants to have a relationship with His creation.
Right.
There are verses that say God actively wants to have relations with His creation. But then again,
he wants to have relations.
But then again, we're told that we're not supposed to seek His presence. We're not supposed to like tempt Him by coming into our presence or talk to us.
Tempt
or whatever.
Him?
Yeah, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
Test him.
Yeah,
like
you shall test the Lord thy God.
Like
you're not supposed to say, "Hey, reveal yourself to me."
Thought. Okay.
Right? Yeah, you can't say you're not supposed to say as a believer, "Reveal yourself to me right now, God," because I don't believe unless you reveal yourself.
Like
to me.
when we
That's a temptation of God. That is you're putting Him on the spot, and that is not allowed.
Like when they do those.
That sounds like gaslighting. Okay.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah,
you're crazy.
Yeah. I'm here. You just don't.
I'm
believe
here.
me.
You just don't. Yeah, you don't believe hard enough.
Gaslighting. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like when they do those clinical studies of the efficacy of prayer in cancer patients.
Yep.
And they say, well, those are skewed bad. Of course, it's going to show the prayer doesn't work because God knows this in advance, and
He knows it.
He's purposely keeping the information skewed because you're trying to tempt him. You're trying to test him.
He knows when you're going to test him, right?
I guess the idea is that you he wants you to have to use faith, and if he provides you physical evidence of that, then there's no longer this need for the virtue of faith, and that's
Douglas Adams. In a Douglas Adams book, it's the God knows that proof denies faith, so therefore he says, but if you use if you use proof,
no, I'm sorry, I was just reading.
I disappear in a puff of logic, and
Yeah.
So if I had to use, you can't use anything but faith to believe in him.
Yeah.
But faith nowadays means something totally different. And that video is not out right now, but by the time you're watching this, that video will be out. It's called something like, you did the thumbnail for it, Chris. The always changing
faith, the word that means whatever you
want it to mean.
Whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah, so that is in our library now. Look for the thumbnail that Chris did. Faith, the word that means whatever you want it to mean. Because nowadays it doesn't mean what it meant 20 years ago.
No.
Go back
and... Matt Delahunty talks about that
and Aaron Raw too.
Christian apologists will use faith in one way, and then in the same argument they'll change the meaning of faith for something else, just because it serves their argument, and even though it's very dishonest. Okay, so do you want me to do this one?
I'll do this one.
Okay.
Mike Billers. All right.
I like this one.
Tilden, cover your ears. He's slamming you. You're going to get... Hey, if you come on this show, because look at the thumbnail. It's Andy, Randall, and Tilden. Okay. I looked at our analytics just not too long ago, maybe within the last couple of weeks. The 40 to 54-year-old crowd is our biggest demographic. We're going to cater to them. I'm 51. I'm way by far the oldest out of all these young pups. We do get a lot of 20 to 35-year-olds as well. So, I mean, our demographic is all over the place. This guy says, I feel like these three are going to yell at me to get off their lawn and then go drink some prune juice. You know what? Again, like I said to the last troll comment, fuck you. A, fuck you.
It's so ageist.
A, fuck you.
For sure.
B, there is no B. And C, we can do what the hell we want. And in the description section, you will see the Atheist Edge 20 commandments. If you think that we have the wrong hosts, I think it's commandment... If it's commandment number 19, I think it might not be 19, but it's the one that says if you think the show should go in a different direction than what it's going, that sounds great. Start your own fucking YouTube channel,
bro.
Just go start your own YouTube channel because we're gonna do what the hell we want.
You think I shouldn't be here?
And if you're gonna make fun of people for things they can't change, like their age. Hey, make fun of me being fat all day. That other comment about me raiding the cookie jar, that was actually pretty funny. Because I can change that. But don't make fun of age or looks. You know, if you're going to go after something people can change. I don't know. I'm on a tangent.
Well, and go after what is said, not the package that message comes in. That's kind of
We're about trying to fucking talk about the issues, not really what people look like or any superficial thing.
And I could go on a little rant about female YouTubers, but I think it would not be well received in this room. So go ahead.
99% of all the negative criticism of you, Courtney, is that you just look too librarian-ish, but they would still hit that. So it's usually like a veiled compliment.
Okay, what I will say, the idea that is somehow still in any way a compliment
or acceptable,
is completely false. Okay? That's all I'll say about that. There is a huge misconception about what constitutes a compliment for women. That is not it. Okay?
Now, a lot of these guys that don't get a lot of action, they read books.
Do you think that's my problem, man?
No, I know. They are under some delusion that, you know what dissing is? Dissing is a thing.
Okay.
Where, like, you walk up to a bar and you make some kind of, what is it, like a backhanded compliment?
You mean a chicken? You mean a woman?
Negging. It's not dissing. It's called negging. It's kind of a diss. It's kind of a put down, but in a way to get them to. They think that that's a viable way to meet women, to like kind of attack them a little.
And that's what I'm saying is that there are many misconceptions about ways to compliment women, ways to show women that you think that they're attractive. And one of the biggest misconceptions about that is something that Mr. Atheist came up with of. If you find another person attractive, it is not a requirement for you to let them know that in any way. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
And besides,
Yeah.
if you've got kids on your yard and you've worked hard in that yard, you tell them to get the hell out. There's a reason for telling them that.
And prune juice has a lot of fiber, and if you need it, it's actually good juice.
And I have a house full of cats also.
I do too. I'm a cat lady. Okay.
Eat shit, you bigoted jarhead fuckface.
Says
Talking
Sean.
about fucking Jim Hall.
Says Sean Ryan. About where's the video for?
Here's how I am going
That
to
could be
officially
anything.
respond as a member of Atheist Edge.
Fuck you!
No, I have no response because what's our number 3? I think it's commandment number 3 is
Don't
to
feed the
ignore
trolls.
trolls. So
Wait.
my response is silence.
But do we know what video they were talking about?
No.
Just out of curiosity, what content makes him conclude?
That's what I was asking.
If we mention anything that involves skin color or biological sex, there's going to be a certain percentage of the population that will just leave bigot comments in the comment section.
That won't happen on this video.
Well, okay, so
no, see,
yeah.
we're going to get all new mailbag material. But my unofficial comment to this, and you won't hear this very often, is.
Let it be a surprise.
Don't fucking
No,
show
this
them
feels
what
good.
you- Don't show them
This feels good. I've kept this in for 2.5 years. You know what?
Don't tell them the
Let's
recipe,
meet
dude.
up.
Don't tell them the fucking recipe.
Yeah, you don't want to show them how the sausage is made,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay. Well,
Also
we just broke the 5th wall.
Right.
Also Jim.
The fifth wall.
That's a threat to
Not
violence.
even the fourth
No,
wall.
Jim.
No, it's not. It's a
Okay,
reaction
well,
to him. We're just responding to crazy ass fucking comments over the last 2 months.
YouTube comments. Okay.
Yeah, call it crank mail though. That's good. That'll be a good
No,
clickbait.
guys.
All right, but we can put that as the
We'll figure it
title.
out later.
Yeah,
Mailbag is
why
fine.
are you doing mailbag? That's kind of
Hit
gender
it.
bias, ain't it?
Have you watched the YouTube video of Richard Dawkins replying to
About
his
person
email?
bag.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing.
That was funny too.
This is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're doing.
The fireside chat of him spewing obscenities that people write him. Oh, that's good. Okay.
Am I allowed to talk now?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I'm serious. Okay.
Thoughts?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
I'm just
All
saying.
right, go.
Just saying. All right. So it's like I'm sorry.
That
guys.
rant will. Oh, do you want to read it? No, you talk too much already. Here we go. We don't have to
Okay.
beg every time.
Yes,
That's one of
we
the
fucking
commandments.
do.
Do not beg for likes and subs.
That's begging.
That's not begging, man.
That's not begging,
but if
man.
you say it every time, it gets old. Whatever you want to say, Courtney, go.
Everybody does that has a YouTube channel does that.
I know, it's annoying.